personal information, blah, 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 blah.
Like I say, we're not far off, it's just that one.
But there's also some paperwork involved, like notification from doctors.
Yep.
And really, if you're gonna have surgery, it allows us to say, you know, at least approve it kind of thing. Okay?
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay.
Thanks for.
Yeah.
Okay. Special town meeting?
So, I drafted a warrant. I didn't really know what time. We're doing one article, 6:30 before, because that's our regular meeting night, might work. And this has to be sent to the record next Tuesday. But Steve Agar, having had a conversation with Kelly Flynn, wants to add articles to the warrant.
Hmm.
He's sitting way back there.
We combined him with the, they found some leaks.
Steve, you wanna come up there and join us for a minute? We're talking about the special town meeting.
Okay, where do you want to start?
Do you need some money?
Charlie will tell you, we found some pretty good-sized leaks right on Main Street last week. We spent a day on Hillsdale Road, then we started on Smiley's Pond. We got as far as John Walter's house by noontime, and there's a major leak right there that we're going to address either tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday morning. So, you know, I mean, I would guess this is going to be $6,000 to $8,000 just for this one project. I've got like $20,000 left in my pipeline account right now. I can afford to pay this particular project, but as we move along in this inspection project, we're going to find some more, and it's going to entail some more work. So at this point, aside from the leaks to be fixed and, you know, work along the same, one of the issues we brought up last week was the four buildings that we're providing water to, we're not paying. To monitor them, the only practical way is to put a meter in each house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Approximately $500 for each house. Because technically I could physically do it, but it's illegal. I can't mess with water pipes, interior water pipes. So I'd have to buy the equipment, hire a plumber to have each one of them done.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So I tend to agree we should do that.
No, I agree. You know, I mean,
we're
part of our goal here is to equate,
account for all our
gallons, one way or another. We've got 3 houses with people living in them. The library obviously doesn't use a lot of water, but it all adds up. I mean, it all adds up. So, you know, I mean, I'm figuring $2,000 just for that project right there. Then we got to deal with the leak situation, and I don't know how far we're going to get. This one could be very expensive, the one on Main Street, for the simple reason the big leak is off the side of the highway, down over the bank. The second big leak is right underneath the sidewalk.
Gotta fix it.
No question about it. You know, however, that's going to take some time and some money. So, you know what I mean.
Well,
Right now,
that's why we want to talk to you,
okay.
because we're having a special town meeting.
Yeah, okay, and
You need to tell us.
you know, aside from the fact that the meters in the buildings, I don't know what to say as far as the dollar figure. I mean, I would really like, very honestly, throughout the winter, to do an engineering study on all our old pipelines and see what it costs to replace them.
Could you get an estimate on
Get an
that?
estimate on an engineering study.
Mhm.
You'll see when I give you the map where our old lines are, and the 2 key points are Main Street and a good portion of Bigamont Road, between towards Great Barrington. That's my two concerns right now, that two sections. And I'd like to hire an engineer to get some estimates together, design
Draw
a
some
replacement
plans.
project
Mhm.
down the road. But that's gonna take money up front, so. Very honestly, guys, I'm looking at like $25,000 right now.
At the town meeting, that's to affect the repairs.
Back to repairs, start working on an engineering study, get the
Well,
meters.
let's split them up.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay, first and foremost, I think what we need to do is we've got, you're saying we have two leaks.
Two leaks right there on Main Street.
Okay, one is under the sidewalk near John Walters' place.
No. As you're going east, around the corner,
Yep,
there's a void over the bank.
yep,
Okay, there's two sets of valves down there. One of which, probably you remember this, Bruce, was the line that came up the river from Smiley's Pond years ago.
Yeah,
There's a shut-off valve for that, just deadheaded.
yeah,
Okay, and there's another cut-off valve back into the main, right next to it. Both of which we're sounding big leaks on. We won't know until we uncover it. The second leak is a little bit farther down, kind of in front of Haley's, not quite across from Baldwin Hill, but almost. And it's showing right underneath the sidewalk right now, so that's
So,
gonna be the expensive part of it.
that, I think that line runs right under the sidewalk there,
I
doesn't
believe it does.
I would say, and I know this is kind of short notice, but if you're gonna do the work there, you really should just do the whole line between the bridge and at least get the hallux.
Oh,
And I
okay, we know up to Walter's driveway, it's new, relatively new.
Mhm.
Okay. It cuts back down over the bank, where it tied into the line coming, original line.
Mhm.
Switches over about 10 feet, kitty corners back up to the Main Street.
But you understand what I'm
Oh,
saying?
no question about it.
If there are leaks there and there are more than one, we
Well,
should see.
once
what
we
can-
uncover,
Cause Shop Hill there is fairly new too.
yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
fairly new. Once we uncover the lower part of that and get back underneath, we'll know what we're running into. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I should have Wilkinson here Wednesday, hopefully, if everything works right. And, so, you know, I'm thinking $8,000 to $10,000 right there on Main Street right now.
Mhm.
why don't we just engineer that part of the line? Just engineer,
Well, why
clear that
why
part
don't we
for
at
complete
least
replacement.
put some money in here for the initial phase one, engineering and design of water line replacement. And
Yeah. If you,
Well, if we
if you
put
allocated to me like $10,000 for this particular section right now, okay?
Well, you've got
I've got enough to pay for that right now.
enough to pay for
I
that.
got enough to pay for that project right there. If you
So
could
maybe
allocate.
we should do two articles, one for engineering
Okay.
and one to provide you some additional money for your capital.
Yeah, well, see, here we are, we're in October. You know, if we fix this project, you know, I mean, used up 10,000, then I've gotta go from there till June.
That's what
Okay,
I'm saying,
something else
let's
is gonna happen.
appropriate you some more money.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
if you were to appropriate 10 for the project right there, another 10 will carry me over for the rest of it, and you'll do the engineering part. I think that would help.
but you have 20 now,
I
right?
got 20 now,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
So if we give you an additional 10,
that would
be
really
more
help,
than adequately.
get me
But-
going, get me
but
going.
We also, we'll put a figure of like 10 in for engineering, but you need to, between now and then,
Yeah,
get us a better figure, so.
but no question about it, you know, I mean, it's, very honestly, I've had some personal problems I had to deal with, and I haven't had
Well,
time
that's
to really.
okay, but,
Yeah,
but,
okay. Okay,
tie and bond
Yep.
or somebody like that.
well, we talked about this before, Mary, didn't we talk about just doing a request for proposals for engineering work? And get a rate so much an hour type of thing,
Yes.
or that's how we would do it?
Yeah, somebody needs to come up with the criteria though for that. Request for
What's this
proposals.
for?
I don't know how-
These invoices or?
That is the Joe Wilkinson bill that goes back to 2013.
No.
it seems though I thought he was done begging for this. I was told recently he sent a monthly bill to the water department ever since. That's what I was
I
told
know,
by
you
the
were told that.
clerk.
I've seen.
And so I had a conversation with him, and he said that he really just needed to get this amount that he paid our police officers for road details. So he's looking for $2,574, and I would note that it seems to me that our police department needs to get a clear understanding of when they're billing for a town job or not. Because I think our contract calls for a lesser rate for
Yeah,
a
it's
town
just
job,
a
if they
regular
bill
overtime
this at
rate.
their regular road detail rate. And that's an issue between us and the police. But, this is, Joe is
So
asking
we
if
should
the
also
town
put
could
this on as a bill from the previous year.
share.
Can I jump in on that just a little bit?
Yeah, Eric had a question.
Yeah, it's a request I get on behalf of the Finance Committee. All of this expense that the water department, the town is running into here should be factored into the next time we set rates so that we can keep the water department as close to self-financing as is reasonable.
They do have a certified, free cash or whatever you wanna call it.
Seems to me it's very low,
I thought I saw a pretty
Yeah, it
decent
wasn't very
number.
much.
No.
I don't think we can.
Yeah, so I understand what Steve is saying, and it
But we
sounds,
can appropriate that.
it sounds very sensible, but we ought to have a schedule for rate increases and look at this and anticipate future capital needs and decide how much of that, consciously decide how much of that to burden the users with and how much to eat as a
Okay.
town.
Okay. I'm thinking,
So when we get this, we're gonna have an article for to add money to capital, $10,000.
mhm,
We're gonna have an article for engineering design study, $10,000.
mhm.
And an article for the Wilkinson bill of the previous year,
Yep.
2005. So what was the meters at $500 apiece? We're not doing something
Okay,
like that?
this is the other thing that we talked about, the $2,000 for the 4 buildings. So,
Yeah,
Kinda
you
skipped
should
over.
have internal money to do
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
So, but those are things, and we need to know what the water enterprise fund has for free
Right,
cash.
for retainer.
I think their
You know what I-
cash was $5,000.
I thought it was
I
between
thought-
5 and 6
I
myself.
thought it was a significant sum
Yeah.
of money. So we need to,
My suggestion, if everything goes to Hoyle like you're talking about with the appropriation that passes and everything else, my suggestion is to get through the winter before, to accommodate any repair problems during the winter months, and then do the 4 buildings in the spring, seeing where my budget is at that point.
How much do those 4 buildings use?
Beg pardon?
How much do the 4
Well,
buildings
that's what nobody knows.
Well,
I
actually,
would say
we
that
have.
should be a
okay, we've
priority
got-
and.
2 weeks ago was a significant amount of water,
Yeah.
we were told.
Okay, one house up on.
We should,
Meter them.
I think that should be
Yeah.
priority one. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can do that tomorrow, get
Yeah.
it done.
Yeah, meter.
I mean, really.
One house has 4 people in it, up on the hill. 2 houses have 2 people each in it.
Let's meter them.
And we have no idea how much water they could be running a hose all night and we don't know it.
That's $2,000 that will start paying itself back
No,
right
we,
away.
no, that, we don't have, that's part of the deed that we got to do the driveway.
I know, I think he just meant that the data that we gathered from it could really start to help us. He didn't mean physically pay us
Well, you
back.
mean she could.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
They will pay their rate.
We
No,
gotta
they
find out where all
don't.
this
They-
water.
No,
they
they don't
can't.
get billed.
They don't get billed. See,
One's the library, one's the South Fire Station, and 2 are the houses.
No.
There's 3 houses.
3 houses.
3
up on the hill.
houses on the hill by the water plant, and because we had to go across their property to build our plant,
They get
and
free
to get
water
to it, they
forever.
get free water.
Yeah, that was
Deeded
part
rights.
of the
Initial.
right of way.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, that's, a lot of people don't even know about it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was on the board for a long time before I knew about it.
But that's what we gotta know, because
Yeah.
But it's, yeah,
It's
2
our-
weeks ago,
Yeah, well, our goal
We were talking
is
about-
basically to get.
processed water that we weren't,
if we're sending out 3,000 gallons or 30,000 gallons a day and we're only billing for 5,
Yeah.
then we need to know where the other 25 is going.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna see a major decrease if we get this thing on Main Street taken care of.
Even if they have a zero bill, we need to know how much water they're using.
You know,
It really
maybe we
makes a
can,
lot of sense.
and actually, Bill and I talked about this new software system where it becomes completely integrated. We can run a bill out, you know, based on that meter, but it won't be billed to the customer. I mean,
Well, you
it'll
can
show
bill
you
them,
the gallons right
you
there.
can make a zero bill, that's,
Yeah,
yeah, Tom.
Mary mentioned South Fire Station, South Fire
No,
Station
no.
as well.
yeah. No.
Okay, I was wrong then.
Yeah.
Because I seem to be getting my information from people who don't know what they're talking about.
Actually,
I want to
we were
apologize, I want to
attached-
apologize, I want to apologize because I misspoke myself at the last meeting about that.
That was originally attached,
It was attached.
and then we could get for water, so we drilled our own well, but that was back in the,
I don't know, I was just recently told that
70s?
South Agar Fire Station
Actually,
was
we
one
made a
of
list
those.
the other day of disconnected lines.
I don't think that one's disconnected.
Well, it shut off at the main, I believe. That's,
No, because I think it comes around through the house beside it.
no, we checked that out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
You
we
know,
checked that out, yeah.
I guess I'm getting frustrated again.
Yeah.
If we have a customer, whether they're paying or not paying for it by a previous agreement or something like that, we should meet it. We
Yeah,
need to know
I agree.
every,
Including the library, because
Yeah.
who's to say there's not a leak
That's
somewhere
right.
between the road and the building?
we should know every damn place should be metered, because,
Okay, I've
And
got,
quite frankly, I'm surprised that the library isn't getting a bill, because the school gets a bill, so.
just some information you guys asked for the other day, and I didn't have time because I've been up at the hospital with my wife all day
Yeah.
to make some copies, but just as a point of information, I've got 11 accounts that owe more than $600. 4 pay slowly, but they do pay. 1 is paid ahead and it still has a large balance. 4 pay on a yearly schedule. We have 2 accounts in bankruptcy foreclosure with a total due of $2,400. And then the other information, what we just talked about, the 4 buildings. You wanted to see a map of the system that shows the old and new. You want
And
to
I
see that?
have one of
But
those
you
in
say,
the
what, you
office.
have 11 accounts that owe more than $600?
Yeah, but they're all paying on it. That's the thing. You know, I mean, they're not stagnant.
That's kind of
We're
like
getting money.
$6,000.
Yeah, it's tough, but I'm not gonna read any names off, which I don't think is right, but, you know what I mean, if you knew where they were, you'd understand the situations, you know. Just like any other business, you get the best you can out of them.
But bankruptcy's a different matter.
Yeah, we got this one girl, and
It's
Yeah.
not it doesn't matter who it is,
Okay.
but the deed to the property can't be transferred
Right.
without paying that bill.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
So that,
and
and
somebody
that,
needs to be
and that
keeping
may,
an eye on it.
that may even be something that, the bank, if they foreclose on it, will.
the other problem
pay.
with the bankruptcy.
Can't let, you can't let the bank foreclose and liquidate the property without paying that bill.
Correct,
yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, we can actually go after them.
Actually, what, the
Okay.
bankruptcy is in New York State,
Yeah,
and so Will is got a connection with that system, and what he's doing, he's giving them a new statement each month.
mm-hmm,
The problem with that particular house is there's a tenant in there. And, you know, we can't shut the water off without notifying the owner by
yeah,
certified mail.
and I
and all that
think
kind of
we
stuff.
have priority.
Yeah,
And-
so,
and somebody should
our
make sure
account-
they perfect that lien.
you know, our account with that bankruptcy system is consistent, it's going each
Mhm.
month.
Okay.
You know what it is. We made contact with the bank that has the foreclosure process. Hopefully we'll get some results from them.
Because
Unfortunately,
if the
they're-
bank forecloses, sometimes they'll pay before.
well, that's what we're working on now. The
Or
problem
the
is the banks
The
in
real
Texas.
problem is
Doesn't
it's
matter.
I know, but I'm just saying, the
Well,
banks
they're
in
not very
Texas,
responsible.
communication's a problem.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so,
They talk different down there.
oh yeah, but, you know, we've got a connection so far.
Okay.
My thought on that situation, the bank someday is gonna wanna sell that house. And when they find out we've got a lien on it, you know.
No, they may even pay before,
Yeah, we've had that happen before, actually. We've made that happen before, so.
and then pay the taxes, they should.
Yeah, that's true, I think, yeah.
Is it an agronaut?
And then Main Street.
Okay. And make sure you do whatever the process is to make sure you get it on their tax bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a process, and I forgot what
Yeah,
it's called.
there is a whole
But there's a process to get it on their